Welcome, everyone, back to another episode of Level 1 Adventuring. So happy to have you. I see a brand new viewer that I met over at Stella's stream, Hardcover. Thank you for being here. So for all of our new friends, we love to have you. If you're a returning friend, we are glad to see you again. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Wolf Scott, and you are watching Level 1 Adventuring. What is Level 1 Adventuring, you're asking out there? I know you are so desperately. We are a TTRPG content platform. We are a Twitch stream. We are a YouTube channel. We are a Discord community, which will soon be a play-by-post server. So please follow us and like us on all the things. On Twitter as well, I post some free 5e content for you to just consume. It's for you, little items, little monsters. Love it up. Big thank you to Tabletop Audio for all of the free music and ambiance that you'll be hearing this stream. And thank you to StreamLabs and StreamSpell for all the fancy digital effects that you just saw grace your eyeballs. But I think that is my usual introduction of things, except for my wonderful, beautiful co-host, co-players. So I'm going to switch us over to our little party pick screen. Oh, I should say, actually, I do have one more announcement. Thank you to our resident cleric, Sydney, for helping me update our player screen, so now you can actually see our characters' art on the forefront. So now you don't have to remember what everyone looks like, you can just see, and that's really fun and cool. But speaking of their full body pictures, I will go over to our party pick, and I'll have everyone introduce themselves right about now, so you should be seeing art, courtesy of Luis Prado. And Garrett, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure, I'm Garrett. I play Yoan Byrne, our tiefling transmuter wizard, who is looking very much forward to finding the scrolls that are definitely in this library we're about to check out.
Thank you so much. And how about Amber?
Hey y'all, my name is Amber. I play Nidara Valior, our resident drow rogue. I would also like to shout out y'all for this new layout. It looks fantastic.
Thank you so much. And the artiste herself, Sydney.
Hey y'all, I'm Sydney. I play Violet Newmont. She is a holier-than-thou cleric on a mission to find her god. Tetrios is his name. Thunder god.
I like how you have like a little what's the word, a catchphrase almost that you've built over time. That's good. Lauren, if you'd like to introduce us.
Hey everyone, I'm Lauren. I'm playing Grey Eden. She is a half-orc druid. She doesn't say much, but she loves rocks, and she loves her friends, and she's trying to find her family.
You rock. And then finally, Zorvarax.
Hey y'all, I'm Zach. I'm playing Zorvarax Verduke, our dragonborn fighter, who might not get much out of the library per se, but he certainly is enjoying the dungeon delving that we've been doing thus far.
Excellent. Now I'm going to put it back to game time. You'll be able to see everyone's beautiful faces and whose faces match all of that beautiful character art. And then in a moment, I should be able to give us, there we go, a little recap. Let me put us back on performance mode. Oh, also, speaking of recaps, new command in the channel. Hit ! Catch up or ! Recap, and there's a little typed recap of the last session in case you forget or need a little reminder, so that's there for you. But we'll do our regular introduction. So when last we left our intrepid heroes, the party has been hot on the heels of a group of magically gifted bandits known as the Forsaken. For the Forsaken have stolen an object of some import to the party. They've been tasked with transporting this mysterious box full of some kind of experimental magical what's-it that no one will tell them what it is, but it unfortunately was stolen from them in the middle of the night, and they have been chasing down the bandits ever since with the help of their two companions, Percival Graham, an utterly useless but endearing squire, and his uncle Theor Graham, who is a very capable stalwart veteran knight. The party had managed...
She's got some growing to do, that's all.
Yeah, it's all character development. The party had eventually tracked the wizard bandits down to one of their little hideouts, which is so sort of carved out of the stones of a place called Riverholm. Actually, taking a a flying leap off of a ridge towards the water. One of the bandits disappeared, and the party discovered there was actually a cave underneath the cliffside, sort of right near the water's edge. So through various means of crawling and falling and what's the word? Rappelling their way down, the party managed to get inside. They were treated
Eating.
and eating, yeah. A couple different things were exposed to the party. Number one, the cavern's walls were decorated with what appeared to be flags and emblems of a place called the Magisterium, which is the premier arcane university of the land of Mira. Although all of these various flags and emblems and whatnot were defaced, they were burned, they were defiled. There was some graffiti scrawled on the stones calling for the downfall of the oppressive Magisterium. So you can kind of get an idea so far that the Forsaken really aren't into them as a whole. Besides the utter darkness of the caverns, they were slightly alit with sort of bluish-gray runes that were carved into the stonework, kind of giving you a path forward. And so the party marched. About halfway through there, this winding tunnel, you found a little fork in the road, and Yoan had detected a magical trap, which he very easily disarmed. The party then found a requisitions hall where there was a bunch of potions and things to mix and play with, but the party couldn't make heads or tails of that, so of course they blew it up, because that's what you do when you can't figure out how it works. You blow it up. But by blowing that up, they called the attention of a creature that was lurking in the shadows of the Forsaken's cavern. This sharp-toothed, hunched-over, spiky-backed, gray-skinned creature with one gigantic eye in the center of its face, who stared at them and sort of hissed and gibbered out in unintelligible language. So the party decided to try and speak to it, because it wasn't outwardly hostile. It seemed very interested and capable of hurting them, but not outrightly hostile. It turns out that Nadara did speak its tongue, its mother tongue, which was Undercommon. So the creature, which you learns their name is Creep, right? Creep showed a great interest in the fact that you were able to bypass the magical traps, was very enthralled by the idea that you were able to do that, and kept pestering you and trying to figure out how did you break it. And then the party tried to lie and say that they didn't know how the magic was disabled, but then there was a magical woman made of light that was conjured by Musadi right nearby. Oh, Zorvarax is waving a finger. What is the finger?
I did not lie. I did not lie.
Did not.
Zorvarax does not know magic.
That's true. At least one of you does not know magic. So unfortunately, this creature, this Nothic, as you've described, Yoan actually managed to clock the creature as a Nothic, a being which is obsessed with magical lore and the accumulation of magical knowledge, right? Unfortunately, the Nothic had seen enough of your shit and decided there was going to be a bit of a brawl. But even despite this, even despite the Nothic wanting blood, the party refused to fight. The party was like, I think we can get through to him. I think we can do this. And even though it dropped Theor in one magical eye blast, we have a raised hand from
I just want to tell y'all that I love you so much for that. Like, I love each and every one of you so much for that.
There's so much wind from your mic, Sydney. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you have a lot of, like, maybe it's your, I don't know what that is.
I have a fan on.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Also, Oklo, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. We thank you so much for that. You are awesome. Appreciate you so much. Where were we with that? Now that I'm excited by there's wind and guitars wailing in the background. Almost fought a Nothic, did not fight the Nothic. Yeah, despite the fact that it dropped it. Whoa! Little Introvert also is following. You guys!
Hey.
My heart, it purse, it pounds. Thank you. My brain. I'm just like ping-ponging back and forth between stream and recap. Despite wanting to I don't think Beans is okay, says hardcover. Beans is trying. Beans thinks he knows who he's talking to, but everyone's just user for now. So we'll figure that out later. But despite everything, despite dropping Theor in one hit, besides almost tearing through Percy, beyond all of that, the
Bringing
party
me to 1 in one hit.
Bringing Zorvax to 1 HP with a single claw strike. The party did manage to break through to this Nothic. Oh, look at that! Grow the caramel skin. Yeah, feed Beans. Beans is hungry. Managed to reach the Nothic beyond all reason. Beans is getting hungry now, getting fed. And decided to listen to the party speak. So what you've kind of gained from Creep so far is that Creep was drawn here because the Forsaken are so full of magic. They've consolidated such a coterie of magical items and scrolls here. He came here to learn about it. The Forsaken saw this and was like, we can use this to our advantage, and have now kind of strung Creep along, telling him they're gonna teach him stuff or give him magical items, and really only giving him scraps just to keep him around long enough to guard their cave, right? You've also learned that there is a library, or at least a collection of scrolls and books in this cave that the Forsaken use, but it has been warded specifically from aberrations, so Creep is unable to enter it. But Creep gave you a lot of good intel. You did learn that a group of Forsaken did come by earlier. They were transporting a magical box that seemed to be radiating a large, powerful amount of arcane energy, which seems to align very much with your stolen relic. And you've also learned that it is under the watchful eye of the Forsaken sort of leader of this cell, if you will, of the Forsaken in Riverholm, called Jacqueline. And so, presumably, there's a Jacqueline here who knows magic. And I believe shortly after that, y'all kind of followed Creep to his little hovel, his little hobby hole, which is like a little cavern underneath this like little waterfall in the caves. You spent enough time there to sort of dust off your wounds and catch your breath and take a short rest. And then we ended our session with y'all heading towards the direction of the warded library. So, do we have any follow-up questions from our heroes at home? Any sort of points of order before we jump back into the story proper?
Quick question for me. Was it Jacklo or Jacqueline?
Jacqueline, but also...
Okay, cool.
But Jacklo's cool, too. Jacklo. Oh, yeah, that someone also tried to convince, and maybe we don't know if well, I guess someone had called Jacqueline Jack and Lynn. I think that was...
Oh, yeah.
So I think Zorvax may believe there are two people here, but you at least know there's one.
That sounds like something I would have done, and I forgot about it. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's two people.
The deadly Jack and Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, anything else to see and or do?
Since Musadi isn't here, can I take the place of the Dancing Lights Creep?
Oh, yes, you may. Yes, you may.
The creep.
Yeah, that was how they managed to calm down Creep's ire, was forging a Dancing Light's body that looked exactly like Creep but made of like magical light, and that entranced him long enough to sway him. But yes, you can take control of that. So last time we met, from what I remember, Creep seemed sort of hesitant to outwardly march with the party because that would obviously denote him as a traitor to the Forsaken. But Yoan and Gray, I should say. Yoan handing Creep the squish on, squish off light bulb that you got from the Kelpie, and Gray handing him a pile of magic rocks, pretty much said, hey, that's okay, you hang out here, you play with this magic stuff we're giving you. If we come back and we make sure everything's okay, then you can help us out. So right now, if we're coming back into the fiction, you can see sort of a Creep excitedly sitting sort of like legs crossed in the back of his little hovel, with his one hand with his like squishy yellow ball and the other one shaking rocks, and it's just like creep. Oh, creep. Sort of like staring at these items like delightedly. Viola, you probably just you probably just found your way like through the little waterfall cavern, so you like splash outward just in time to see all of the party huddled around this giant one-eyed gremlin who's like shaking rocks around in a magical eyeball. Creep! Yes, creep.
I don't even acknowledge it. I go straight up, and I was lost. I found you. Where are we going now? What's next?
To the library.
Beautiful.
Oh, is that Zorvex pointing heroically?
I just point where we're gonna go. Wherever the library is.
Yeah, around
But
this
we have
way.
to swim again to get out of here, don't we?
True, although you know the way, and it's not a very difficult check, so you should have a decent a chance of success. Theor, pulls himself up on his haunches. He was recuperating from a near deadly strike. He's no longer poisoned, so you can see his grizzled face is taking a few deep breaths, like, and with each breath, his emaciated flesh, which was sort of constricted to his skeleton, slowly begins like inflate, and the veins, which were like painted dark from that weird necrotic effect, begin to lighten until he reclaims a much more normal pallor, an earthly pallor.
Wait, what the fuck happened to him?
Creep happened to him. Creep stared at him so hard that there was a flash of light, and when you all opened your eyes, Theor was like being drained of mortal life. So yeah, Creep's
Jesus
yeah, he's something.
Christ.
Tetrios.
You gotta give him a last name.
Yeah, you need to have. But yes, Theor, pushes himself off his feet. Percy, quick to attend to his uncle, has his heavy armored gauntlet slung around his shoulder. It's all right, uncle. Find your footing. And Theor sort of grunts into a full stand. It's fine, lad. I've got it from here. Thank you. Sort of like releases his gauntlet from Percy's shoulder, and there is a sort of an adoring, wide-eyed stare from Percy at his very accomplished knightly uncle and defying death once again quite heroically. But Percy and Theor both look to the party. My blade is by your side. Lead the way. And I'll help!
Does Viola have guidance?
Ooh, does Viola have guidance?
Yes, I do. Sorry, I
And
didn't realize.
we've seen her use it, yes, so this is not metagaming.
Yeah, I've used it.
Great.
I've used it before.
Yoan's just gonna go up to her and say, "Good, you finally caught up. You mind giving us a little bit of a divine assistance with this swim? It was a little rough on some of us."
For sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab my holy symbol on my neck. I'm just going to pat each of you on the back, just like a swap. Down the line. You all have guidance.
How far down the back are we talking?
Pretty low, like almost cracked, but not quite there.
A little jolt from Tetrios' lightning with each
If it
pat.
wasn't at least close to the lower back,
Yeah, just a very, very slight shock for each
thick
one.
back. The skin close to the tailbone. That's where it's thinnest.
All right, so who's gonna be trying to swim against the current first with this help of guidance? Zorbrax, okay.
That's Zorbrax.
That's Zorbrax.
Sounds good.
I will take the plunge.
All right, yeah, and I will say too, Zorbrax, whoever manages to get to the top first, can definitely plunge an arm down into the water from the top and help people hand over hand them up.
Yeah,
So you can give me an athletics check, and then you can also benefit from the guidance that you've been given.
I love me some athletics. I can benefit from guidance in which way?
You roll a D4.
1d4.
Yeah.
D4? Ooh,
And add that to
okay.
your total.
You know what? I'm also gonna add some inspiration to that because that wasn't a very good roll. And the other roll was even worse, so it's okay. So athletics plus my original roll plus a d4. Awesome. Here we go. That's gonna be an 18.
Hey, ooh, you said it was not
Is
good.
that all?
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Well, it was a 10.
I
and
see.
then I re-rolled and I got a 1. And I was like, that doesn't help us at all.
Well,
So,
Zorvarax, with Viola's little jolt on your backside, spurring you into motion, you hear a thunderous boom in the back of your ears as the storm god Tetrios touches you for but a moment. You run towards the water. You cut through the splashdown with just. Like, you just almost just Terminator run right through it and jump, and you manage to catch the current, pulling yourself upward against the stones. It doesn't take much effort at all for you to eventually see the top of the little lagoon on the other side of the cave as you crash open up.
The wild,
Yeah, exactly.
freaking diving up the waterfall. Beautiful.
And you can pull yourself up. You'll be a little sopping wet, but you can definitely perch yourself on top of the other side and help people up as they go.
Not the first time I've been this wet. I let my ham down.
with no one to hear you. You're the only one on top of the... you just announce it to yourself.
He's usually speaking these things to himself. He's alone in his cave.
That's true. You gotta keep yourself entertained when you're spelunking all by yourself.
He makes the jokes for him, not for anyone else.
All right, so I will allow the people now who are climbing up with the benefit of Zorvarax. I'll give you an additional +2 on top of whatever else you roll for your with your guidance. So who's getting the next zap up the cavern? Was that Gray? I think raised a hand earlier. All right.
Yeah,
Gray.
that'd be great.
Would it be great?
I wasn't gonna say it.
I'll do it. I'll bite that bullet.
Okay. Okay. A D4, right?
Yeah.
And what kind of check is this?
Well, you can decide. I would say athletics is probably the most applicable. I'd maybe also take survival because you're like trying to navigate through.
I'll do survival, and that was a terrible roll, so I'm already using my inspiration. This is why I knew I needed guidance. I knew I was gonna roll badly tonight. That one's also not. Oh wait, yes it is. Sorry, that was a hidden little one. So that was, I rolled an 18.
Oh, okay, perfect.
And then.
Oh, and more. Okay.
19.
Gray, you approach the water, your hand outstretched, as you're sort of, you attune with the nature, your druidic magic speaking to the current of the water. You place your hand on it, and it's almost as if Gray is drawn up through the water, like she doesn't force herself through the water, it almost like requests her to like enter the stream, as the water almost motivates Gray herself through the current, arm outstretched. Gray, you look and you can see Zorvarax's burly, scaled hand is sort of breaking through the top of the water as you clasp arm in arm, and Zorvarax yoinks you up. No words exchanged, just like splash around. Was expecting that the whole time.
We don't need words.
You're beyond words. All right, who's next?
Yoan will go.
All right.
You said survival, so I'm going survival.
Okay.
Because that is 1 point more than my athletics. Oh, dear God. I guess I'll spend an inspiration.
Oh my God! Who would have known this? Just swimming up through the waterfall was going to be such a.
Okay, 22.
Okay.
Well, where is our party-wide just giving?
Yeah, giving you inspiration.
Passive spyware already.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home, know that you can grant the party members points of inspiration by using channel rewards if you feel so inclined.
Not a part of the actual game. Usually, but for this instance, we want inspiration.
Yoan, you hop yourself into the water. You struggle a bit initially as you sort of Well, you have, tieflings have natural dark vision. You struggle to find the right current to get you up towards the break of the water. You feel your breath sort of constricting in your throat for a moment, but then sort of collecting your thoughts, you look upward and you can just see a faint pinprick of light from the rune light illuminating the cavern above, and you use your instincts and your know-how to follow that light to the break of the top. You once again see Zorvarak's big burly scaly arm in that water as it clasps yours and hoists you back up onto dry land for now.
Thank you, Zorvarax. That was a close one.
Anytime, my friend.
All
So
right.
I'll make it a habit out of it.
Well, we'll see about that.
I believe if Nadara wants to benefit from guidance, you'll probably have to go, and then we'll leave Violet at the end.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Can I yet again do a very beautiful dive into this water and make advantage of my acrobatic skill?
Absolutely, you can. You're so nimble.
I try my best. So... Okay, not the worst. And you said +2?
Mm-hmm.
2, so it's 18 and a d4. Also 19.
Nice. Yes, just as gracefully as you swan dove into the water, you swan dive into the waterfall. You find the current. You cut it like a knife. You just slip right through the waves. And just like everyone else, Zorvarax is there, grinning up at you, ready to receive your hand.
And I grab it and come up and thank you, my big skelly friend.
Anytime.
And then you know what? I should actually roll for our other two friends who are here. I forgot we have two other... Oh boy, what's gonna happen here? Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
Alright.
And Percy dies.
Yeah, and this is where we lose Percy.
I almost called... Well, no, yeah, Yoan. Yoan, can you give me Theor's strength modifier? I don't have it in front of me, and I imagine you might.
His strength modifier is +2, but he does have proficiency in athletics.
Oh, yes, so that's what I'd like to know.
So +4.
+4. Okay. Theor, struggling against the physical wear and tear of Creep's previous necrotic blast, manages to struggle into the water, plops himself into it. You can see his full strength has not returned to him, so he definitely struggles with the first few strokes getting up into the pool above, but despite it, manages to grit his teeth and bear it, and eventually sees Zorvarax's hand, grabs it, hoists himself up, sort of collapses, onto the other side. Well, you pat him on the back.
Yeah.
Apologies, my wits are not all about me yet. I imagine I'm still recovering.
No need to apologize, my friend. This was not an easy climb to climb.
Just don't want to make a bad name of the Valiants, for our sake, that's all.
Looks around. No one else is here to see what happens, so don't worry.
Percy, on the other hand,
Hold on. Before that happens,
Yeah.
What would you make me roll to just carry Percy?
Ooh, okay. So, you would... I would say maybe roll athletics, but like at a disadvantage, because you're trying to swim with Percy on your back.
And climb.
And climb. There's a lot going on.
If you need to carry him, I can help.
What could I like maybe like traverse him a little further, like give him a little starting go to get
Oh, I see you're frozen in mid.
Oh, you lost to me.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh no!
I kicked everyone
Oh my god!
I don't know what happened. Can you hear me? Am I not
Yeah, you're here now.
Okay. So, are we swimming up? Or are we swimming what is the okay. So could I hoist him or something on his way? Give him an assist.
If you roll me an athletics check of a certain stripe, I'll see if that gives him a little extra.
I'm pretty athletic.
I'm ready to grab him whenever you need.
Oh, what was that?
I rolled a natural one. But I'm gonna go ahead and spend a point of inspiration.
Yeah. Oh my! Literally, the main antagonist of the session tonight is just getting out of the water.
Because I don't want to kill him.
The second Garrett was like, "Isn't that another check?" I was like, "You son of a bitch."
So I rolled a 15.
A 15. Okay. Viola, you see Percy. He's like, once again, he backs himself up, almost like bumping into Creep, who's like, sort of like shaking his back. Oh, I'm sorry. Apologies, my friend. Let me just get a little bit of a. Okay, and sort of like, stretches, and then breaks into just the most like gangly, uncoordinated run. That armor that doesn't even fit him is just jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle as he's like running towards. You like slap him on the back, like, time to go, and he literally like takes a step and the stones underneath his foot just break as he begins to like fall, like free fall for a moment. I just sort of like into the pit. You grab him by like the scruff of his neck and the back of his belt and just yeet, just like into the water as he is falling.
He does get yeeted. So we do have someone successfully yeet across. Okay, great.
You hear the cry is absorbed by the water. You're like as like the bubbles take him. Zorvarax, all you see is like a cacophony of ripples and bubbles at the top of the water. He like breaks the top of the oh dear! Oh my! Are you all collected? All fair and he doesn't even know what he's saying. His like glasses are like lopsided, like hanging off the top of his head. Steel yourself, lad. Theor says as he like kind of stands him up and like props him back into proper place.
You did well. I'm proud of you, Percy.
Oh yes, I certainly made a show of it.
You made it up here. That's what counts.
And so, Viola, it's just you and Creep, who's like staring in the background, just like looking at you like the newest person in this little house, like, I love how Sydney's face keeps like freezing in the weirdest ways. Oh no!
It keeps freezing.
Your internet's cursed tonight. Oh, I also saw that Hardcover cheered some bits for us. Thank you so much, Hardcover. I'm just seeing that.
Thank you.
After I roll for this, I'm gonna try to update my Chrome browser because there was an update. And
that's probably why, yeah.
So basically, I'm gonna mutter to myself before I'm just gonna put me in an early grave, and then I'm gonna just go for it. We're just gonna go for it. That was another natural one, so I am going to use another point of inspiration because I'm alone and I have nobody to yeet me up the.
Are cursed.
Listen, don't say that. Okay, that's gonna be a 24.
Okay. So yes, there is a moment where we'll say the nat 1 is like you yeeting Percy up, and the stones continue to crumble like where he stood. So there's a moment where like you are almost in free fall. You can like feel the back of your heels like skidding against the stone, but then you brace yourself against that same rock, leap straight off of it into the water, and manage to catch the current as you push yourself up. You see Zorvarax on the other side, and Zorvarax hoists you to relative safety.
Oh, thank you.
Anytime, my friend. Anytime.
And then I'm gonna look at Percy.
You shouldn't call yourself an aasimar. You're not an aasimar.
Thank you.
No one should think of themselves as that.
I'm gonna.
You are a beautiful person.
I'm gonna lean in and say.
Not a smear of an ass.
Aasimar.
Oh, pardon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Wow. My bad.
No. Happens all the time. It's
wow.
okay.
I misheard something there.
Okay.
Ooh,
Happens
boy.
all the time. And
Your
then
heart is in the right place.
Yes. I'm gonna
Nidara
look at
cackling in the background.
I'm gonna look at Percy and I'm gonna say, I appreciate that. Are you good? You made it? Good.
You can see his knees still are quivering as he finally gets a moment to adjust his glasses, cleaning the beads of water off of them. Well, a little worse for wear, but topside all the same. as Milo's banished to the darkness again.
No. There we go.
There she is. All right, so that leaves the party all together, ready to travel into the library proper. Do we have any plans before you head in that direction?
I'm ready to delve into this mysterious library.
Mysterious library. Oh boy, just making sure that Sydney's camera, yes, came right back where I needed to be. Love that for me. All right, so the party. Are we approaching any particular way? Are we trying to be quiet? Are we just marching forward, doing any spell preparations, anything like that?
We're walking into a barrier, right?
From what Creep has described, yes, there is a door, and the door has some sort of enchantment on it which prevents him, specifically, from entering it.
Okay.
I'll take 10 minutes to prepare, like 3 spells, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you're gonna prepare Bonk, Slash.
That one spell that does a big bang thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Which one, Zorvarax? Which one?
You know, the one that's big, there's fire, there's a bang.
Thunderwave, fire. Oh, fire. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Yoan would know all about that.
Meteor swarm. I don't know.
So the party is going to begin marching their way through the corridor. As you guys had seen before, the little hovel where Creep has made his home is in the bottom of a little pool of water, which is receiving some cracks and flows of a stronger current from outside the cliffs, right? But in this chamber proper, there just seems to be a giant T intersection, one leading left, where you can hear the ominous chanting of some magical activity that sort of in the background, and then towards the right, which is where Creep had designated the library would be. Heading there?
Yep.
I assume the library, yeah.
Wait.
All right. You guys travel. It's almost, I would like to say, eerily devoid of activity as you wander your way through the darkened stone corridors. The only thing really lighting your path being those flagstones that are carved with little runed etchings that emit a soft twilight. Once again, illuminating more trophies from the Magisterium, which have been busted, broken, burned, and other words that mean messed with that begin with B, because I like alliterations. You eventually find yourself towards where the tunnel presumably ends into a full stop. Now before, when you were heading towards the requisition hall, the door that was built into that tunnel was very much, it looked very clumsily piled together. A bunch of uneven bits of wood and steel, which were mostly fused together by like magic. Whereas this door seems to be a lot more thought put into it. It has some ornate carvings on the side. It's a huge like double door slab of thick oak on either side. There does appear to be a half ring, we'll say, not a full circle, right? But the half of a sphere-like shape that emanates from the bottom of the door, right, into the hallway in which you're facing, which is inscribed with various arcane sigils. Presumably, this is the ward that has been put in place that Creep has described to you.
These look familiar.
Yoan, you say you are of the Magisterium, no?
I believe the backstory we landed on is that he's on his way there, right?
Yeah, so I can give you a little bit of a lore drop for Yoan at least. So Yoan, you know, being of the wizardly ilk, that Yoan has not properly trained at the Magisterium. That's a big reason of why he's going to Virathon, is to, you know, enroll / get some proper tutelage. However, the way that the Magisterium works and that most formal magic users in this world are like accounted for, Yoan probably would have been privately taught by a Magisterium representative. Otherwise, being taught magic outside of like the Magisterium's purview would be like considered a big no-no. And from what you have gathered from Yoan, his family definitely seems to have the resources available to give him some private tutoring. So you can assume that Yoan has probably gained some notoriety with the Magisterium, if not, but not training there personally. Or I should say Yoan would know that, Zorbrax would not know that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
The short answer, sort of, yes.
Well, I just have seen these symbols before, and I know that you are of that magical ilk as well, so I thought maybe, because this reminds me of something I saw when I brought my sister to school.
Is your sister studying at the Magisterium, Zorvarax?
Maybe.
In
I
Virathon?
didn't want to say it. Yes. You know, yes. All right. You know what? I trust you all.
We may have to have a longer discussion later.
We will. But, Yoan, my sister is at the Magisterium, and I would like to keep that on the down low for now, if we can.
I would suggest not bringing it up in conversation then, my friend.
Well, we're not in conversation with many other people, are we?
Got it. So we are your trusted circle. I
am opening up to you as friends now. I hope you all realize this. This is me being a nice. I don't know how to socially interact, but this is what I think people do. They usually share emotional things, and that's how it goes, right?
That is my understanding of it. Yes.
To Zorvrax saying, I don't usually socially interact, you can see Theor standing to the side, like, giving a side-eye, like, that's not readily apparent. And you can hear, like, Percy sort of, like, jabs him in the stomach. Oh, uncle. Zorvrax, a beautiful show of personal growth, my boy. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Percy. Your beautiful show of manliness as well for you.
Oh, my. I wasn't even trying. Must just come naturally to me, I suppose.
Oh, so naturally.
He looks at Nadara, swoon. A little bit of steam underneath the collar. Oh, Lil Jeezy also gave some inspiration to Zorvrax for a better role.
Nice.
Says that's how it goes, right? Zorvrax is Frank Reynolds.
So, who wants to be the one to open this door first?
I'm assuming it's probably going to be locked. Yoan, is there any sign that this barrier will hurt me as well?
Can I throw Arcana at that?
You can throw an Arcana at that.
My Arcana is, okay, that much. 12.
A 12. Zorvrax suddenly knows all the magic. Yoan, you hold your wand aloft for a moment as you commune with the arcane energies around. You detect that, and as far as the DM is concerned, if I'm looking at the spell effect correctly, it does ward against the protection. It does offer protection from certain creature types, aberrations being one of them, but I do not believe that any of the party members or Nadara would trigger any sort of ill effects.
As far as I know, the particular spell that Creep was describing shouldn't have any effect on us. It's any other ones that I wonder about?
Okay.
I'm still gonna want to test it, so I take a spear and I just throw it through.
you
throw it at the door.
Violet does her best, like Olympian, like clock and throw. The spear goes sailing through the air. It hits the door, and you can see once again the door seems to be reinforced at least by some magical energy. It doesn't completely splinter underneath your blow, but the spear does sort of hit and then jangle off and clatter onto the floor of the tunnel proper. It doesn't seem to have any like explosive effect or anything like that.
Okay.
Is there like a knob or a handle or some sort?
If you head towards it's a double door, right? So the center sort of has like an iron bar that's like draped in between like two slats, in which there does look to be a keyhole of some type.
Okay.
Yoan is going to say, what am I thinking? Everyone stand back. And he takes out his wand, and with a deft little flick, summons up a mage hand, which, as always, is long clawed and sinewy and not to his liking. Not again. Ignore that. And he pushes it forward to try and open the door.
Your fiendish clawed hand.
Who said fiendish?
creepily, I'd like to imagine it does a little like one of these as it gets closer to the door. Presses up against the stone, I should say the metal slab, and pushes against it. You can see the door buckles a little bit, but it does look like that iron bar is keeping it firmly in place, and there is no destructive magical fallout from the hand attempting to manipulate that.
Can the hand lift the bar?
It can try to, but it is far too heavy.
Great, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay, no immediate explosions, electrocutions, or anything of the sort. Who wants to lift the bar?
Leroy Jenkins.
Does I? Well,
I'm at full health. I haven't been here. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, you can definitely give it an athletics check.
Yes. I've already rolled my nat ones for that.
That's true.
Right?
You can't get
Get
any
out of the way
more,
first, yeah.
right?
Okay, that is going to be 16 plus 5, so 18, 19, 20, 21.
21. Yeah, so so you threw a spear at it. Everyone was like, oh, that seemed to be okay. And then you just step in front of everybody. Put your hands underneath there. You tug upward. You can feel some resistance. There are like chains that are locked behind the bars, right? Which presumably is the mechanism that's connected to that keyhole. But it doesn't really quite matter because summoning unearthly strength from your divine power source, you wrench free the bar. The chain bends and snaps underneath your grip as you manage to pull the locking mechanism pretty much out of the door and then drop the bar and the chain on the floor nearby.
And then I'm going to pick up my spear and put it back in my pack.
Nadara, have you ever considered opening locks that way?
No, never, not once.
It's effective.
I can't help
Yoan's gonna try mage handing the door open again.
Once again, that creepy clawed hand presses against the double door, and this time, as it offers some resistance, it does slowly creak open and unveil the next room proper. Okay, so what you guys see when you take a look... Oh, I see Zorvax is raising a hand, or is that just like an excited hand?
Just Zorvax, this is what he's doing right now. Just jaw drop. She just went right into it and brute forced that thing open. Zorvax is like, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Said real, recognize real. Flex. As you look into the next chamber, you see what appears to be a bit of a more private sanctum, a smaller space in some of the more cavernous areas that you've entered before. Zorbrax's screen froze straight up about to text him, says Little Juicy.
He was just froze.
There does appear to be that same twilight, that bluish gray light, which is painting the area. However, this time it seems to be centered on not quite a chandelier, but it looks like as though there's like a large crystalline kind of stone, a bluish stone, which has been implanted in the ceiling, which has some markings on it, very similar to the ones that are marking the floor, which is bathing the area in that bluish gray light. A perfect reading light, if you will, for all of the various pages and papers that you see before you, because lining each corner of this room are pretty much floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. Some of them have definitely been cobbled together, like handmade by the Forsaken. Some look like they have very clearly been stolen from other places and then moved down here by some means. But regardless of how they got here, you have floor-to-ceiling, stuffed with books. There are also some scrolls in like leather scroll containers and like some scroll racks, some lower to the floor. There are a series of wooden working desks, which are against the walls between the floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. And then on the floor, spread about, are a variety of carpets. Once again, there are varying in quality. Some look like they were maybe absconded from like the peasantry of the land, while some might look like they were pilfered from nobles that were traveling through the countryside. But there are an assortment of pillows and... Hardcover just gave the whole party inspiration. Thank you, Hardcover. Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate it after they burned it all getting out of the water. You can see an assortment of pillows and reading seats and blankets, which have all taken some level of water damage being under here, and also sort of wrecked underneath foot. But lots of reading materials, quills, inks, and there's also a door leading out towards the opposite end of the area.
Ooh. Well, somebody watch the doors because I'm going to be busy for a moment. Yoan is going to start going through those scroll cases.
Okay.
I'll watch the door.
Viola,
I will not gain anything from whatever you guys are reading, so...
Let me keep watch while you glean all of the information that you need.
Viola wants to try to find a replacement Bible because she gave hers away like the second episode.
Oh my god, you've been walking around without holy scripture.
I got it all up here, but...
Committed to memory. As the party enters, also, so we have, Yoan and Viola are going to be looking through the books. Zorbrax is just, I guess, taking a flop down on one of those pillows nearby. What about Gray?
Probably not even read half of what's in this library anyway, so...
What about Gray and Nadara?
So in a library. I mean, Nadara, I'm happy to see if I can find anything useful, maybe. I'm happy to find any spells, if there's anything in Undercommon or Thieves' Cant, anything related to any of that.
Okay, great. And then Gray?
Yeah, sorry. I'm actually in the Discord. Do you have our like backstories? Because I want to use the right terminology, but I know I want to see if there's anything that maybe, Can I just look around the library and see if there's anything that maybe sparks my interest? I'll just keep it at that because I feel like you'll know what I might be looking for.
Okay. You said something in the Discord as well? Because I can take a look at that on the down low while
Yeah, let me message you.
Yeah.
Directly.
And obviously
Zorbrax?
Oh no, sorry, pardon. But along with that same chain, Zorbrax would be curious if anyone found anything about Draconic history, but like...
Oh, yes.
I'm not assuming there's anything here. So
Okay.
that's why he's like, yeah, I'll stand watch. This doesn't seem like what I need.
Zorbrax, is there anything you want us to look for while we're at it? Keep an eye out.
Well, I mean, anything regarding the ancient knighthood that followed Bahamut, I would be very interested in. But, of course, I don't want to impress. Please find out what
That
we
is
need to
very
do. More
specific, and
pressing
That is very.
I will give you a shout.
Yeah, I'll also let you know. I can read in Celestial.
No. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's fine.
Listen, if it's for you, it's a big deal.
It's not a big deal for now. We need to figure out what's going on with these cultists, and the Forsaken are more important right now.
That's debatable, but I respect you.
Respect your wishes. I should also say, because I was rewriting a bunch of lore whenever D&D was like, you can't use any of our names for anything anymore. I don't know if they're still beholden to that, but suddenly the Knightly Order bound to Bahamut is the Knightly Order bound to Kivinorm. So know that. That's the name.
So Bahamut is canceled? Is that what I'm hearing?
At least in the
You don't
lore.
want to know why.
Yeah. Don't look into it. It's Kiwi Norm now, so there's that. Okay, so we'll say this: as the party is all spreading out, looking through their various books or trying to find various books and scrolls, you all place your hands upon the spines of some books to take a little look. And as you do, every other odd book in the shelf begins to jitter and shuffle and shake around as you hear a slow and steady beginning to glow all around you as the doors, which you previously opened, slam on other side as the books themselves begin to shoot off of the shelves at a breakneck pace towards the party, and not only do some of them fly at you with the velocity that some might consider cannonball-like, other books begin to bend upward and flap as if they were birds or bats, as you are suddenly surrounded by a cloud of animate flying books.
Every day they shuffle in.
I look at Percy and I say, hit the deck.
One step ahead of you! You just hear all of the metal slam onto the ground as he face plants. So I believe that means we're gonna have to roll some initiative.
We just wanted to learn things.
Right.
This is what happens. Knowledge. This is why.
Knowledge is dangerous.
We'll put on some more tempting battle music.
I wanted Gray to stand there like an idiot the whole time, but I felt obligated to make her do something. So I feel robbed. I feel cheated. I feel so mad I didn't go with my first instinct.
Ooh.
I got a 12.
Everybody, hold your horses. Okay.
I got a 1.
Nice.
Oh no. Tonight is definitely, it's telling me tonight that I need to eventually install my air conditioner, because I am hot. I am hot right now. Okay. Remember your inspiration, says Hardcover. Yes, please do. Let me take a look at my notes to make sure I know what's happening with this monster. Okay.
Singular?
Am I singular?
You're just the one?
I also need to turn down my headphone because my battle music is trumpeting quite powerfully into my ear holes. Okay, so I heard some people reading off some initiative. I'm going to call on Garrett first to tell me what you got.
Yoan got 22.
Ooh, very nice.
And Theor got 17.
Ooh, nice. Nadara?
21.
Ooh, y'all getting some high rolls. Okay. And then Greg got a 1, right? Nice. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That one I remembered. Zorvarax?
I only got a 12.
Okay. And then we got our resident cleric.
It's a 10.
10. Okay. So that should mean order is going
That
to.
worked out
Very
perfectly.
safe.
Oh, I'm gonna save myself the trouble. I'm gonna put Percy with Nadara as usual. So we have Yoan, we have Nadara, which means Percy. We have the creatures, whatever they may be. And then we have... 17 is Theor. Zorvarax 12. Viola at 10.
Ooh, kitty.
And then
What-
Gray
what-
at
oh.
1.
Like,
Okay.
He's in play mode, so.
that
Aw.
cat's initiative is -5. I'll show up later.
Okay. So, to start things off, y'all did roll initiative. Unfortunately, you did not notice these animate books hiding in the bookshelves before they sprung themselves upon you. So there is one surprise round they get
Animate
before
books.
things happen. So this is technically 3 swarms of animate books is what you are fighting against. 3
They're book
swarms.
bats. How bad can
I-
they be?
I love the Page Master growing up, so this is
This is
right
really
up my
just hitting
alley.
all the right notes for you.
I feel like Macaulay Culkin right now.
Well, this is the part where Macaulay Culkin gets beat senseless with a bunch of books. Literally, the attack on this sheet, by the way, is Book Club, which I love personally. I personally do very much appreciate
The
that.
Scholastic Book Fair will be sending them a
Yeah, like, excuse me. All right, so these are gonna be randomly determined because these things are not intelligent. They just know that someone's in here that shouldn't be here, and they're gonna flap and bat their way around.
They're
So we're gonna
books,
go.
they're not intelligent? Come on!
Zorvarax,
So I'm okay with
but also if I don't get hit, that's fine.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. We got Percy, and we got Yoan. Okay. So to start things off, the party looks in all directions as the books spring off the shelves, quite literally, and fly at everyone's faces. You can hear the papers rustling as their spines levitate them in midair. Some fold up to be like fully flat rectangles of leather and paper and swing full force at your faces, just absolutely taking you by the cheek and like trying to bat you around. Gosh, the first book club. I gotta look at this attack. Okay, first thing to Yoan's gonna be a 15 to hit.
Should I shield? I got 3 spell slots. I'm gonna shield. Oh wait, 17?
15.
15, shield.
Okay. Yoan, you raise your wand up and you create that honeycomb-like shield right around your body of energy whenever that happens. You watch as Yoan erects an orb of force made of honeycombs around him as all the books like tung 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 tung. They just like try and batter into the shield, but are deflected as they fling off and then continue to flap around. That means we're gonna go with Percy. That is going to be a 17 to Percy's AC, which is that enough to hit? It is enough. He can hit. Percy does get hit. And so Percy, a couple things are going to happen to Percy.
Oh no.
You see this book, this series of books, swing towards Percy, and at first there's like a pung on the face, and his glasses get like thrown off of his head. He's just like, oh, and then like as he's still in shock, there's tung 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 tung, like 3 more just like pile on top of his head. Percy takes 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
On top of that, the books have a little ability, a little
no.
special ability.
They're vampire book bats.
Called Jump Scare. If a target is damaged by the books while they are frightened, unaware, or they have not yet acted in the round, they must make a DC 11 con save or be stunned.
Wow.
So,
That's
Well,
just
he has to roll
Tailor-made
whether
for our
he's
boy.
scared or not.
That's true.
Anyway.
And you know how Percy does with those. Basically, the first book hits Percy, his glasses go flying off. Oh well, don't worry, I'll come for the next one. Tung, 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 tung. And he like looks back up, and there's just like stars in his eyes. There's like a little bird flying around his head. He's absolutely flustered. Does Percy get the reroll as hardcover? Well, we never gave the NPCs an inspiration before, but I guess they're technically a part of the party. So I guess
I've been spending mine on Theor.
Okay. So we'll see. Hardcover looks like we want to try and see if Percy can resist getting absolutely blasted by this book. Which I'm gonna consult his con save, which isn't that great, even with the. Unfortunately, you can see a few of the books still hit Percy. His eyes go cross. He's sort of standing there, knees buckled, sort of standing in a circle. Well, you know, there's sort of a. I thought once that I could. Well, if you ever get close to me again, I'll show you. Just not a part of this world, as Percy is unfortunately stunned by the strike. I see a hand raised from Sydney.
He stresses me out. He stresses me out so much. He's gonna put me down. I'm gonna go down.
Listen, y'all are the ones who decided to adopt this boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy, but he's like a 50-50 shot of whether he might pass out or not.
At any given moment.
Give him a chance. He will find his courage.
Yes, I'll find it. I'm sure it was just over there a moment ago. I'll go get it.
Not my turn. I was gonna use my action to encourage Percy.
Ryan, wasn't he prone? Remember I told him to hit the deck. Does that help?
Technically it would have made it worse for him because melee attacks would have advantage. So regardless, he would have been.
Okay, cool.
And then finally, for Zorvarax, a resounding 5 to hit for Zorvarax. So I imagine that does not get anywhere near your armor
5
class.
to AC? No, not even close. Yeah.
Hardcover said, man, I want to play at this table. Y'all look like you have so much fun. We do! At least we try. And we hope that you feel that watching us.
Any fun.
Yeah, we hate D&D. It's the worst.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Kitty! Yes! Zorvarax, how do you... what weapon are you brandishing right now? Do you have your sword? Do you have your blade?
I think I have my sword out for this one.
Zorvarax...
So I would say, yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I would assume that whatever this thing is, he parries with his sword kind of like this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, not today, fiend.
You can see a bunch of books, like, they try to hit you, and they just manage to, like, wrap themselves around your sword.
I can't even read you.
I have resistance to your damage, because I'm illiterate. Then you, like, flick your... you flick your sword as all of the books are tossed aside off of your blade as they flitter back into the air. That is all of their attacks. However, the books will then use their movement, so that's going to give everybody an opportunity attack should they wish to take it. Except for Yoan, who used his reaction to shield. As the books all fly back towards the bookshelves and try to hide themselves, because they can bonus action hide, they're going to try and shuffle themselves back into place on the bookshelves so they can't be detected for the next round of strikes. So can everyone give me if you're taking a swing at the swarm as it's rushing by you, you're gonna give me a basic melee attack.
What is a basic melee attack?
Wait, we just give that to you right now?
Unless you want to keep your reaction, for something else. But right now, if you want to try to make an opportunity attack, as they're like fleeing, quote unquote, into the bookcases, you would have to use your reaction to make from your whatever weapon you normally have.
How are we all looking? Is anyone like hurt, like feeling
Percy? That should be it.
I don't know what you're talking about. They've got nothing on me.
Can I use my reaction to defend Percy?
Ooh, interesting.
Could I like shield him with my sword in a way?
Maybe as an action on your turn, but this is just I'm just asking you if you can do the opportunity attack if you want.
Whoa, gotcha.
Wolf, what do we roll for the opportunity attack? Is it just, do we roll to hit with our specific weapon?
Yeah, it would just be like if you were attacking with your dagger or whatever melee weapon that you have currently equipped.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I hit with an 18.
Ooh, an 18.
I got an 18 as well.
Ooh, nice.
I hit with a 24.
Ooh, these all sound like hits to me.
14 from Theor.
That's gonna be a 15 for me to hit.
That is all hits. I'll get. Oh, Percy's stunned, so he can't. All the books are just whizzing by him. You calm down for a moment. I'll get you. All right, so everybody hits. The books don't have a lot of AC. They're books. But there are 3 different swarms, so we're gonna have to keep track of who's who. So I'm gonna ask the party to give me 3 subjects of books, and that will be our. So like there's like the history swarm, the whatever swarm. Those are our. That's how we're gonna use to describe them. So what are
I would say the Forsaken definitely has a romance section here.
Oh yeah, they're in this cave all by themselves. They're like, what's happening on this page? and in this world, a book like Twilight is like just real life. They're like, oh, a book about vampire and werewolf romance? That's just like every other
That's
day.
hot.
Alright, so we have the romance section. The Forsaken being fans of smut is now canon. Yeah, after this battle, you're gonna try to find spell scrolls, and it's nothing but just like fanfic. It's nothing but like spicy fanfic.
Just adult. Yeah.
The raunch.
Pickup artistry.
Oh no!
They just start blushing.
Alright, so
we're gonna make them all incels in this moment.
We have to find a reason to really hate them, so let's all just give them the most deplorable reading materials. Okay, so then, so we have what? Romance, pickup artistry? How many books in that could that possibly be? And now, what's our final? What's our final?
There's 17 copies of Mein Kampf.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Bro, 100%.
Trans-dimensional!
I'm with Sydney on this one. That's what Zorvarak slashes. He sees that one symbol. I'm not gonna say it so that we don't get like banned on Twitch.
God damn it!
I think we're there.
All right, we're gonna say just general tyrannical fascism because I don't think we don't need to be so specific. Yeah, bad.
Really good bad guys.
Get out of here.
Thank you.
This is gonna be the most interesting stream if you're a first watcher of this channel. There's been a lot of interesting topics of conversation for this one. Okay. All right. So now that everybody is resolving we know what the book swarms are. What are we hitting, and for what damage? Because you all hit. These books have no AC essentially, so. You can take your swings and let me know how much damage and to what swarm you hit.
I'm going for.
Theor does 5 slashing damage to the fascism books.
I was gonna say, I hope they're all at this point.
Hold on.
Ooh, that's gonna be a 13 slashing damage to the fascism books as well from Zorvarak.
Damn, pile it on to fascism.
I'll hit the last remaining group of books for 8 bludgeoning.
8 bludgeoning. So you're hitting fascism as well, or different?
I was gonna hit what was the one that you said, Garrett? I don't remember.
Pickup artistry.
No,
I meant like the one that you named.
Oh, pickup artistry.
Pickup artistry. So I'll hit that group.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. Perfect. And then, do we have any other attacks to resolve? I have 3 written down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got sorry, shit. So 9 bludgeoning damage.
Dang.
And I will do, what was the one that was actually just pickup artistry?
Yeah, romance, pickup artistry, and fascism.
Oh, romance?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah, waited real quick.
All right, and then Nadara.
3 damage to romance.
3 damage to romance. Perfect. The party swings wildly as these books flap and swing their way throughout the chamber, battering them on their way out, as they finally, the Greek farmer says, romance is the true villain. Everybody focus fire romance! As the blades and quarterstaffs and swords all swing through the air and catch some leather and parchment, at the end of all of this chaos, a bunch of the books suddenly lose their animacy over magic. They explode into tufts of paper and leather bindings as they fall to the ground. One swarm.
We know which ones mostly exploded first, though.
Yeah, exactly. Fascism, the entire fascism section has been cut to ribbons.
God, obliterated.
While the other two, romance and pickup artistry, interesting that those are the two remaining ones, suffer a great amount of damage as you see half of the collection of the floating books lose control over their animacy and fall to the ground uselessly. The other remaining half of the swarm is still active, and they do manage to get to the other sides of their bookshelves and sink their way in there. So they are currently hidden amongst the other books. You can't tell one from the other. But that is all of the book surprise round. So Yoan, it is your turn.
Yoan is going to back away from the shelves to the center of the room.
Okay.
He is going to ready a firebolt, tip of his wand. The first book he sees climb off a shelf.
Okay.
He's getting fire.
That's a move and a ready. Is that all for you now?
That's all I got.
Nadara.
Nadar's also gonna move to the center of the room, probably back to back with Yoan's, look the other side.
Nice.
Charles Angel style. And what do I want to do? Do I want daggers or do I want a crossbow? I mean, they're flying. That would be pretty cool. No, okay. I'm gonna do crossbow. I'm gonna knock my crossbow, and I'm also gonna ready a shot at the first book I see move on my side.
Nice. That means Percy, who's currently stunned, is just standing, just managing to now, put his hand towards where his spear is, and he's, rummaging around for it. It just keeps, missing his fingers. It's like when you try to catch your straw in your drink and your tongue keeps missing it. It's like, It's like that, but he's, trying to grab his spear. Don't you hold up. I'll grab you yet. But can't do anything else. Which means it's gonna be the creature's turn again to Dark. Okay.
Let's go.
So, once again, there's a moment of calm and quiet as Yoan and Nadara take up space in the center of the room. Yoan creates a mote of firelight at the tip of his wand. Nadara knocks a crossbow as they both stand back to back, and there's a moment of quiet as the music actually gets quiet, which we love when that happens. And then suddenly the bookshelves begin to rattle again, ching, 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 as they shoot out of the corners at all angles towards the party. So that means Nadara and Yoan, you do get your reactions first.
Gonna spend some inspiration. Fudge, yeah. Critical hit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, all right.
Gonna roll 2d10s.
Yes.
15 fire damage.
Oh, obliterated.
Nice. So which one are you incinerating, by the way?
Pickup artistry.
Pickup artistry? Okay. And then, Nadara, what do you get with your crossbow?
21 to hit.
21 to hit. And damage?
And damage is...
Hardcover says burn the Twilight books. Listen, that's not fiction in this world. That probably happened.
Although, some of us are Twilight fans.
Oh! Get him!
Edward Cullen is just, oh my god, Edward Cullen in the world of Mira. Random Mira. He's an old-tight spider monkey.
So there's actual vampires in this world, vampire hunters are hunting him. He's like, say it. we know what you are, my guy. That's what we're here for.
Quick question: how long does guidance last, and do we still have it?
I think it only lasts for
It's up to a minute.
a minute
Okay.
until used, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, after the ability check.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I have a 6 points of piercing damage.
6 points of piercing damage.
And that's going to go straight for romance.
Going straight for romance. Yoan, you spark the tip of firelight from the top of your wand as you release it forward. It sails into the cold, dank chamber of the cave, hits the swarm of books dead center, and not only does it explode with a furious force, you see all of those pages begin to catch light very swiftly. As you now discover, they have vulnerability to fire. So that critical damage that you did gets doubled to a total of, like, what? I think 30
points of fire
Let's go.
damage.
You just watch as the entire swarm becomes just like little cindering motes of like desperately flapping. You can like, it's almost pathetic to watch the magic leave them as they slowly fall their way to the ground and pitter out and just become roughly square-shaped piles of ash on the floor as the section is completely obliterated by Yoan's fire. Nadara, you ping back your crossbow, let a shot fly. It sails through the air, skewers a few books, right? Almost like a kebab, just like tung, 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 and then like hits into a wall with like a few of them flapping uselessly, dealing critical damage. The book swarm is nearly defeated, but is still standing.
Goodness gracious.
Which ones? Which ones are still
Oh,
standing?
the last one standing is, did you hit pickup artistry or romance, Yoan?
Romance. Oh.
I destroyed pickup artistry.
Yeah, so romance
Well, what-
romance is the one that remains.
Romance, last one standing.
Romance is the hardest one to kill. The flame of the soul. Okay, so that means
It's too bright. It's just too hot.
so we'll give these another random roll to see who's getting thwacked. Who's getting thwacked? Ba-ba-da-ba. Very fittingly, going for Nadara, the one who almost felled them. And then we're gonna roll that. Oof.
Oh,
that
no.
is gonna be a 22 to AC.
Oh my! Wait, to me?
That's
Yeah.
rude.
Oh yeah, that definitely hits. Oh gosh.
Nadara, you like pull down your crossbow like with a self-satisfied smile, and then from behind you it just swam, bonk, and you just get totally cracked upside the head, almost splattered forward on your hands and knees. You are going to take. Oh, these have been reduced to more than half of their HP, so they do have less damage now. You're going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. But you will have to give me that Constitution saving throw since they were hidden at the top of the round to see if you are stunned as it hits you upside the head.
Okay, let's see. Constitution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Oh, 16.
16. Ba-ba-ba. You succeed. So yes, the book smacks you upside the head. For a moment, you're seeing stars just like your friend Percy, but you manage to steel yourself and collect your thoughts as you stand back up and ready another crossbow bolt. So you are not stunned. So that would.
I also want to point out that Beans is a very big fan of my comment about Forsaken being fans of smut.
That checks out for Beans. That checks out. Beans is like, all I get to do here is hang out and chat and read
Beans is
smut.
accepting, you know? They accept anyone.
And then, once again, the creature will attempt to flitter by back into it. Oh, actually, one other thing I want to see here. False objects. Checking the stats of the swarm. Imagination roll. Yeah. Okay. The books are going to continue their thing. They're going to try to fly their way into the cupboard to try and hide, which means I'll give Nadara a opportunity attack. And
Useful.
let's see if the swarm's smaller now, so I want to see if anybody else would get a shot at it. I'm gonna determine that by random roll, I think. So I'm gonna say, Yoan no, Percy, no. Theor, yes.
Oh,
Zorvarax, no. Viola, no. Gray, yes.
okay. Oh, I'm gonna use. Can I use a point of inspiration on a hit?
Opportunity attack, yes, you may.
Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna one inspiration.
Yes
That's
means
a
I hit us.
6 from Theo.
I just rolled also a critical hit. For vengeance.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that damage roll. These things are so weakened. You can just tell me how you eviscerate the last bit of this fleeing romance section.
I would like to say the book that hit me upside the head, I got really mad and I just like dropped my crossbow into the opposite hand and flick my dagger up into my hand and just stab it as soon as it like tries to fly past me.
Nice. And as the rest of the books feel that mortal blow against one of its kin and the magic wanes over them and they begin to drop at your feet, Nadara, you pluck your dagger out as the book splays open and falls open at your boot heel. As you can see, it was a vampire romance novel the entire time, staring right back up at you.
Wow. I've always been Team Jacob.
And so the party has survived their onslaught against these enchanted books.
Wow.
Who
if
would have saw
someone
it coming?
There some healing. I'm quite low.
I don't have any of my healing spells right now because I used them during our last battle and we have not taken a long rest.
If nothing else, then pop a
But I
potion.
do have a potion, and it's the only potion. So I don't know if anybody else.
I have 2 more potions.
Oh, okay, bet.
Okay. So I will just drink a potion.
Nice.
Okay. And what does the potion give us again? I'm sorry, I always forget this.
I think it's 2d4 plus 2?
That's correct.
Yes.
Hey, okay, hold on. All right, so
Nailed it.
4. Okay. Oh, okay, 8 points back. I'm almost at full health again.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Well, might we resume our search?
Yes, I can say now that the book's temporary magic, these guardians, have been dispelled. You can now freely rifle through the books that have not been ensorcelled to batter you in the face with interlopers. You also hear on either sides of the chamber the doors which magically slammed shut. You hear a as the magic breaks and the doors unlatch themselves. So you've managed to at least get that done. So we had Zorvarax was maybe looking for tomes concerning the mithril knighthood of Kiwi Norm. We had Gray was looking for books, but I'm gonna have to double check to see if you sent me that message because I was in the middle of that fight, so I have not looked yet.
Text message.
Text message. Yes, I will definitely look at that text message. Yes. Got you. And then we had. Anyone else shout out their topics while I'm collecting my thoughts here?
Nadar also wants to look for something, but I also shot you a text on it.
Oh, everybody's being sneaky secret with the DM.
Mm-hmm.
I have no secrets. I'm looking for Tetrios' Bible, and then I'm also looking for Zorvarax's book.
Viola.
Scrolls and spell books, baby.
Scrolls and spell books. For our boy Yowin. Spellbooks. Okay. Perfect. So I think that is everyone accounted for. So if you are looking in these cupboards for something cool and or useful, y'all can give me an investigation check, or if you're specifically looking for magical texts like Yoan is, you can give me an arcana check. But otherwise it would be investigation.
Can I do a religion check for my Bible?
Oh yes, I would take that. Yeah, for sure.
Using inspiration.
I also use.
I got a
Ooh.
14, and you can narrate anything out loud if that's fast.
15.
I rolled. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, really.
I got a 17, and you can also read whatever I find out loud as well.
I got a 14 for my text, and then I'll roll to look for Zorbrax's thing. And that's just a 14.
Okay. Perfect. All right, so a couple of things here. You said you got a 15, Yoan?
I did.
Okay. What's your intelligence modifier?
+3, yes.
Okay. So
Bobby Town.
1, 2, +3. So if you got a 15, I'm gonna say 10 would be baseline to find one thing. 15 would be 2. So you found 2 points of things plus. Let's say you found 3. Sorry, 3 + 2 is 5. That's math. I'm gonna say you find, as you're scouring through all the scrolls in the spell books, a lot of it's encoded, right? As we found out before, you had some trouble in the potion room, but a lot of it you can decipher. I'm gonna say that you find 5. Hopefully I'm gonna translate this because I'm kind of making this up on the spot. Points worth of spells, right? So like you could find 5 single level spells, or you could find like 2 first level spells and a 1 first level spell, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Are those in scroll form or in spellbook form?
I'm going to say because there's both there. I'm gonna say split the difference half. I'll let you decide. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
3 scrolls, 2 spells, books.
Gotcha.
Spells and books.
Spells and books.
Do you want to determine what those are off screen, or
Yeah,
what do do?
you can just text me, or you can figure out while you're. I know you probably know most of the spells in this game offhandedly, so I'll trust your judgment on that. Nadara, I'm just going down my chat line here. You got a 17, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So Nadara, a slight addendum to your text that you gave me as well, because if I'm not mistaken, we had talked about making that character one of the Mira-centric Fallen Divines. I believe it was Phasmere.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I could not read the name.
Yes. So you do find a book that piques your interest. The Forsaken, of course, being scholars of all realms of thought and study, including romance and pickup artistry and fascism, why not? You also find books on religious texts, and particularly texts concerning that of the fallen divines, right? So in the pantheon of Mira, the main religious sectors, the main gods, are kind of split into 2 halves, the Risen and the Fallen Divines. The Risen are the generally accepted, most worshipped gods, the ones that are more closely aligned with the goals of like aiding humanity. That'd be like your Tetrioses and things like that. The Fallen ones are the ones that are a little bit more self-serving, a little more selfish. Some scholars would claim they're not inherently evil, they just represent, more sinister maybe forces or more self-serving forces of the universe. Other people would say, pretty bad. I guess it depends on how you look at it. But you find a text concerning Phasmere, who is the fallen divine, a goddess that represents a lot of things. I wish I would have known you're asking for this. I had like a whole note written up for Phasmere. But she is primarily responsible for my brain curses, undead, and through bipartisan death, right? She's highly associated with magic. She's highly associated with lichdom, because people seeking magical power using undeath to achieve immortality. So she primarily concerns herself with matters of the grave, with magic, with the ability to persist beyond death, right? In such a way that most people would consider heinous, right? Like selfishly prolonging their own life for their own gain or to undermine others, right? So you find a book which is called The Sisterhood of the Seven.
Ooh. Stop, cat.
of the 7. Okay.
And you've heard this term, maybe in passing. You never really understood, you never really fully comprehended what it meant. You might have heard someone very important to you in your storyline reference it, but it was always sort of in like half whispered, half truths spoken to you. But as you read through this book, you begin to learn more about, just even in the beginning passages, right? The Sisterhood of the Seven are a sort of group of assassins, magically gifted assassins, which serve Phasmere, right? Mm-hmm. And they are essentially designed, they are sworn to like hunt Phasmere's enemies, to kill her enemies and collect their souls, which can be then used for magical rites concerning the goddess of undeath, right? So they're like soul collectors, essentially. There are always 7 sisters who exist. And if at one point there are less than 7, the cosmos spins the wheel in such a way that a 7th one is chosen.
Who?
Right?
Mm-hmm. The cosmos.
The cosmos, right.
Yeah. They choose. Yeah, they're 7.
So I think that's all I'll give you for now.
Okay.
But you can keep the book, and if, maybe you read some more later. But yeah, right now, you've definitely picked up that there's a Sisterhood of the Seven. You've heard that term thrown around by someone in your past before, and you kind of get a better understanding of what that means.
Okay.
This episode is going to be like a huge lore drop as everybody just like...
Yes.
Let's like rifle through these books. I love it.
It's a good place.
I feel like Zorvax must have heard of the Sisters of the Seven by now, but I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm gonna slip that into my bag.
Okay. Book claimed. Gray, you also got yourself a 14. Pretty good for someone who normally doesn't rifle around in the library. Let me double check your notes here. Okay, I got you. I'm seeing it. Gray. You find yourself a tome centered on the region. I always say to myself, I always forget that I should pull up the map of Mira before we start the stream, because I'm like, yeah, that place that has all of the things written on it. There we go. At least I think there we go. There we go. You find a tome which is centered around the swath of land known as Ashenwood, right? So you were traveling through Sunstep. That is initially where Gray's journey began. That's where everybody's journey began. But unlike some characters who came from more disparate parts of the map and found themselves in Sunstep, you initially were traveling through Sunstep because you were, and I will not say too much, to release that on stream quite yet, but you had a home somewhere in the Weald that Wends. It's a much more forested area, in our map. But over time, the Weald that Wends on the southern portion near Sunstep began to be corrupted, began to be pained by a very powerful cataclysmic force, a volcano called Fury's Maw, right? Essentially, and no one knows the truth behind this, right? This is ages old history we're delving into, right? But essentially, long ago, there was a great country of dragonborn and dragonkin, right? Who were at odds with a great nation of tieflings, right? This is like all well before most recorded history was happening. They were at a standstill as both empires were pressing against each other. And one of them, who knows who, needed to make a bold move to change the tide of the war, right? Through some act of magic, they had erupted the long-dormant volcano known as Fury's Maw. The explosion was so powerful, it tore through the realm, right? It decimated armies on both sides. Essentially, it did end the war, but not in the way that they intended it, right? Like, both factions were now so weak that they were unable to continue to fight, and their empires were eventually absorbed and changed into the ruling areas that we have now, right? But unfortunately, that same pyroclastic explosion flowed into the woods into the north and took it and gouged it in fire, right? That part of the forest became known as Ashenwood. And everyone would think, oh, well, that's great. Like, at least it's relegated to this one part of the forest, right? At least we can, like, save it. Wrong. Because once Fury's Maw had erupted, whatever had caused that magic to leak out has continued to spread. And slowly but surely, more and more of the Weald that Wends, this ancient, powerful forest that protects a lot of people, gives a lot of home and resources to many creatures in this land, are being slowly claimed by the fires, by primarily the smoke. I know this is not meant to be a commentary on what is happening in the world right now, but it is aligning eerily, similarly. Pretty much this magic pyroclastic smoke continues to echo out through Ashenwood and is claiming more sections of the Weald that Wends, which has unfortunately pushed many of its denizens, many of the villagers, and many of the people who would make their homes there out and displace them. Is that a decent amount of information for you there, Gray, or do you have anything else tied to that?
That was pretty solid. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's resolve Viola. Viola, I would say with that roll, you two, I mean, we've already found a text on the Fallen Divines, right? So it only makes sense that there's probably a book on that shelf somewhere about the Risen Divines. You do find some text befitting that of the Risen Clergy. Is there anything, do you just want to have the book with you, or is there any other, like, particular thing going on that you're looking for with that book?
I mean, I definitely want to look inside and see if there is any kind of written moments of silence that Tetrios is known for. But I want to do that kind of on the sly. But I do just want to have it overall. So even if there's not anything in there, I want to keep the book.
Yes. Another huge lore drop is we're just going to keep rolling through this episode. So, and also tying together kind of well with our previous point. So the Weald that Wends, right? Big old forest, right? Lots of magical trees in there. But there's one tree in particular. And once again, I'm like, oh my god, I wish I had all of my notes already ready to go because there's so much going on. I'm going to pull this up, or at least try to. So that I can give you the full lowdown. But you know that in ancient times, right, this is, once again, way before recorded history, there was a period of turbulence called the War of the First, right? And the War of the First was essentially when the proto-forms of what would be the Divines and other ancient beings, things like primordial titans, the first dragons, right? We're talking about, like, ancient times. This was when a great upheaval happened between those figures, right? So it literally was a war between some of the first beings that ever existed, hence the War of the First. And it was cataclysmic. It tore the planet apart. It nearly destroyed existence as we know it, until... until there was a movement in the land itself, right? There is an ancient metaphysical force, a natural force, right? Primeval spirits of the land, the sea, and the sky, right? Pretty much what the druids, if you don't worship like a nature deity like High God in this world, then you probably pledge yourself to the spirits of the land, right? The planet was in such turmoil that the spirits of the land, sea, and sky, which had always existed but silently, for eons and eons and eons, right, spoke for the first time. And did not so much speak literally, so much as they manifested a physical avatar in the world, which at that point had never been done by the spirits. It existed, but they'd never really created themselves a form to be represented by. And they did that by creating, as I'm looking in my Cosmic Powers folder, on our Discord, by the way, which you can check out to learn more of this cool lore if you're into it. They created a figure known as Root and Branch from Heart to Star. Essentially a tree, which was reaching its roots all the way to the core of the world, and whose metaphysical powers could reach the stars, right? Root and Branch from Heart to Star, also known as the first tree, the tree, created a magical barrier between the worlds, right? Between the worlds of the higher beings, the higher echelons of beings, and the lower echelons of beings, mortals, right? Because they were pretty much tired of everyone's shit. They were like, primordials, gods, you're fucking everything up. We're gonna get a handle on this, and created the primeval spirit of the Erd Tree to push everyone out. Ever since that day, gods, goddesses, they were not able to touch ground on Eruth, on the planet of Mira, right? This is how they've started their period of distance. So, whereas before they could actually manifest or even walk amongst their followers, interact with them, now they had to become these disembodied, far-ranging deific forces, right? And obviously, when this first happened, there was a long period of silence, as the tree was kind of working overtime to make sure that the planet had enough time to repair itself. Eventually it did, and the gods also gained in power on their sort of banishment, right? And they were able to lend their spiritual power down and speak to their people in distant dreams and visions and holy quests and things of that nature. But that is sort of how we've ended up at the status quo that we have today, where the gods are distant forces that can only lend their powers through their servants. It's because essentially the spiritual essence of the planet itself said, no more, we will have no more destruction, and barred them from physical entry. So there have been recorded periods of silence from the gods. In your scenario, definitely feels maybe a little bit more personal. But it is not the only time in history where the gods have not spoken directly.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then finally, Zorvarax, plugging away through the books himself. Zorvarax, as you are thumbing your clawed hands through the bookshelves, there is actually a strange thrum of heat against your chest. As you look down...
Is there a trap?
As the book explodes, as you look down, and there is I think Garrett might be frozen, unless he's remaining. No, he is just being that still. That was amazing how still he was. I thought you were dead. Zorvarax, you feel a thrum of heat upon your chest as you look down, and the amulet of Kiwi Norm, the guardian dragon, upon your chest. Its eyes burn with a subtle magical heat. And you almost feel as though the amulet is tugging you into the direction, I cannot speak, of a certain thick tome that's sitting on one of the shelves nearby.
I follow the call.
Follow the call. Zorvarax, you put your clawed hands upon it, and you peel it back, and you look, and the front of the cover has the exact same embellishment, like a metal face of the amulet, which is around your neck, and the eyes are once again sort of glowing in response. you definitely get the sense that, knowing what you've been hunting for so long, that you are holding a legitimate piece of ancient draconic history. Like, this is a legitimate archaeological find in your hands.
If I put the eyes, like, is there another face on the book that I can kind of connect this little thing with?
You know what? I wasn't thinking about that, but that's awesome, and I love it. So yes, there is, because I love where your head's at. Yeah, so you sort of hold the book upward, and you can see there's like a recess, like an indentation in the thick leather that would fit the medallion. As the medallion, almost like a magnet, begins to like pull against your chest and try to find itself in the recess of the book.
And it does.
If you let it.
I mean, if I let it, I'm trying to put it there.
So Rex like, go in! The amulet sinks into place onto the front of the leather almost too well. Almost like they were meant to find one another. As you can hear almost an audible like as like a smoky breath releases out of the corners of the pages, and you can feel a force that was once holding the pages close crack open in your hand. As your finger begins to roll down some text, you find that this is a history of the Mithril Knights of Kibi Norm, right? This is...
Oh, yeah.
Which is, for those of you following along out there in TV land, this is the same ancient empire which would have been a part of this cataclysmic explosion at Fury's Maw. Right? At one point, who knows who at fault, but the Mithril Knights were definitely a part of the standing armies of this ancient dragon empire when that happened, right? Zorvarax, you see things in this book which a younger Zorvarax would only dream about. You're seeing, like, you know those, like, old ancient medieval paintings of, like, you're watching, like, the battle forms, like, you know, the swords, like, how to strike, when to parry. Like, you're seeing that, but drawn out, like, in the style of, like, dragonborn, like, battling and, using their claws and their breath weapons and, like, their, you know, their specific weapons akin to their people in, like, their traditional battle strikes. You're seeing lists and records of names, ancestries, which you recognize. Ancestries.
These Mithril Knights.
Yes.
These Mithril Knights, though. Yeah.
Which seem to be all trailing back to a common denominator, which may be the Verdukes. But more importantly, and this is something that I did not plan on happening this session, so I might have to fix some things around. As you're staring at, like, one of the forms, right? You're reading about how certain dragonborn, right? Like, a dragon is a fully sentient, very powerful being, right? A true dragon, right? In some instances, some scholars, you know, theorize that, once again, at the War of the First, they were some of the first children of some of the primordial and celestial beings. Yeah. So they don't just let themselves be ridden by anyone. Right? It has to come from a partnership. It has to come from a union. It has to come from I respect you and understand your value. You respect and understand my value. So we will ride into battle together, and I will allow you to be on my back, because that is an honor that you bear, right? So these sort of like ancient mythical dragon knights, these dragoons, because I know you've been wanting so much to use that title. You are seeing sort of the recorded history of, like, the dragoons and, like, which dragons would, which riders would serve which dragons, and, like, how those partnerships, you know, came to be and how that combat. And as you're doing that, the words almost seem to, like, burn with a magical light. Only you can perceive this, but you begin to feel a pinprick of heat and light almost at the corner of your brain, right? As there is some sort of ancient ancestral knowledge which is being transferred from this book, from the Order of the Dragoons, directly into your mind, right? So this is something that I'm going to unveil now, and like I said, I might have to workshop it a little bit. I will get to the mechanics probably next session. But every character that you're seeing on screen right now, I have sort of planned some evolutions, some non-standard evolutions of their abilities pertinent to their storylines, right? As we continue on. Zorvarax, you very much, when you first were talking about this character, you're like, I want to try and like do like a dragoon thing, so this is sort of this ancestral knowledge is burned into Zorvarax's mind. You are, and like I said, I'm gonna get we'll work on the mechanics later. You're essentially going to be gifted the ability to do a dragoon's jump. You're going to be able to jump an incredibly high distance, right? Which you can then use to either like slam down to deal like additional damage, or you can fall at a rate which will not harm you, right?
Makes me so happy.
So yes, you will be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and then not suffer the ill effects of the recourse of that transfer.
Oh my gosh, Zorvarax takes all of this information in as if it's like downloaded, right, into his brain, I assume. And it's like, I know now. I know what I must do. And then I just jump.
Immediately, Zorvarax.
And I fall right back down. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. And then I do it again, multiple times. Just, ha ha.
You watch as Zorvarax displays, like the first jump, Zorvarax like bops his head on the ceiling, like straight up, just like from floor, just like shtoing, falls down, but then gets like a handle on it and begins to show such supernatural prowess with his abilities to leap and lurch across the space. Because if I'm not mistaken, before when you were fighting that ogre, like you had to climb up a hill, right? This would be like a distance that you could have bounded that. Like the amount of
easy.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you do you need like details? Like the I don't want to just be able to jump anywhere at any time.
Yeah, like I said, we'll work.
No details. No details.
No, never mind. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do whatever I want with it. The end. Go on.
I'll say for now, until I actually get the mechanics down, because I did not expect it to happen this session. But hey, this is what D&D is about. It's all improv, baby. I'll say for now, you can treat yourself as though you are constantly under the effects of the jump spell, which I think allows you to triple all of your jump distances. And then we'll also figure out the rest of it until I make a more specific ruling on it. But yes.
Okay. I will say after my, excessive jumping and enjoying of this, I will say this was a power my mentor told me was in my family. I never knew it was available to me. I apologize for not letting you know sooner, but I have a history.
Percy watching Zorvarax bound across cavern to cavern.
Well, yes, this surely would have been very useful to know in certain other situations, like when I almost fell down a well, but a waterfall would have been quite useful.
Wait,
I did not know I could do it at the time. I apologize.
Theor looks at you like, that was maybe 20 minutes ago.
I also yeeted you up. Ungrateful.
Well, no, I'm not saying that wasn't helpful. I'm just saying, would it also have helped if we could have just jumped there, just in a single bound? Yes.
I was not aware that I was capable of this yet.
Basically, he read a book and I can jump really high.
I was told that this was part of my heritage, but I never believed it until now. Huh?
We're all just like...
Well, I
I certainly hope that you find a way to tame it. It seems a little out of sorts at the moment. He says as you're like just leaving from one part of the room to the next with reckless abandon.
I'm sorry, I'm just enjoying myself. I wish I could have had this ability sooner, but quite frankly, I didn't trust myself enough with it until now.
Well, you're always telling me that all I need to do is believe in myself, so I suppose this was just a bit of it, on the other foot.
Exactly, my friend.
As Theor looks to the rest of the party, well, if you've all had quite enough time to read through your homework in your various tomes.
I'm gonna say, wait, I wanna look
Don't
again.
we have things to read over here?
Anything else that the party wants to manage with this library before heading forward?
Anything valuable?
Oh, good question. You can give me a investigation or perception check, your choice.
Oh, good roll. Investigation or perception. Ooh, 21.
21. Yes, if the group, if anybody else wants to look for valuables that aren't nailed down, you can feel free to give me an investigation or perception check as well.
14, and Yoan, hearing the valuable question, just lifts the lid of his Heward's handy haversack, ready to put
Just
whatever
scoop
we got
whatever's
into
in
it.
there.
I got a 15.
I got a rock. 15. As I drop my phone. 15, 14, 21. I heard
13.
13.
We'll always be together.
So that's 4. Am I missing a roll from anybody else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can I add?
Yeah.
I mean, perception, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a 16.
A 16. Okay. So through the party's combined efforts, you do, in fact, scavenge some goodies. And let me... I'm always planning on
Just jumping around.
individual treasures. I know there was one thing I was forgetting today. Here's GP. The party manages to scrounge through the little nooks and crannies between the books, shake out some pillows, look underneath some of the blankets that have been thrown and the rugs that are scattered around the room, and you manage in various coinage and also probably some small vials of Residium like magic dust and like tiny valuable gems that would be used for like various spell works. You find yourself 30 GP worth of valuables that you can scrounge.
Ain't mad about that.
Why, that's 6 apiece.
When you do the math.
You can take mine. I'm good. I got my prize as I keep jumping around.
Also, I will say as a prize, I will give everyone a point of inspiration for listening to me talk about various lore points for way too long. But
So that makes that 7.5 gold apiece.
you can round up to 8. I'll
Great.
take.
Wow.
I'll be so generous.
So generous.
I have it written somewhere, but does anyone
Yes.
have our gold amount at the moment?
I mean, I think it varies from person to person.
I was gonna say, I've spent gold on
Well, did we all start with gold? And
Yeah.
have we all bought anything?
Yeah, some people have spent.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I've spent gold for sure.
I had 186 before though.
I'm sitting at like 284 right now, so
Yeah, I have
that
174.
sounds correct.
Let me see, what do I...
Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
Got it. Found it. I now have 220. Thank you for listening.
Nah, thank you for giving me your time.
All right, so scrounging what isn't nailed down. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Next door.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take a look here. Perfect. Okay. The party pushes open the next door, which offers no resistance now that the magical guardians have been banished and the spell protecting these books has waned. You follow this winding tunnel to its natural conclusion. This, as I flip through my paper to make sure I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you. I would never do that. I'm your best friend. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Are you talking as the character or as you, Wolf?
As me. As, of course, me. That's all you need to know. You find what appears to be a barracks, a holding area for where the Forsaken might find rest between their raids, between their nightly outings. It's a fairly simple chamber, carved roughly out of the natural formation of a small cavern, although much wider than the cavern that they sort of relegated Creep take at the bottom of the well. A bit of a nicer spot. There are a series of beds which are stacked on top of each other like multiple bunk beds lined row to row to row, with some personal effects chests scattered about like footlockers. You can see there are like small trinkets which are, painted or hung or nailed into the wall next to like where some of the Forsaken might sleep. Once again, a lot of graffiti on the walls that are denouncing the magisterium. And then, of course, there are some waterlogged blankets and dressings and beddings and things of that nature. But insofar as you can see, there just seems to be a sleeping chamber for their holding forces. Oh, Hardcover says finally back home. Well, glad to have you back with us, Hardcover.
Okay. Any signs of them being here recently?
So you're looking for people?
Yes.
If you are looking for signs of people, you can give me a perception or investigation check, your choice. And if anybody else wants to help with that, you are more than...
I got a 15.
I mean, is that a perception check?
Perception, investigation...
I'm happy to help with that.
16 investigation.
I don't think there's any... Can I keep an eye out for traps?
Sure, do you want...
As far as my dungeon delving feat,
Yeah, what does Dungeon Delve grant you advantage
Well,
on
it just
again?
gives me... It gives me advantage to avoid traps or, other dastardly dungeon development.
Yeah, you can give me that same check with advantage.
Is that a perception?
Yeah. Sorry, my brain.
Oh, you're good.
I got a 16.
16.
Gray's senses are definitely going off.
I got a 15.
15. All right, so I got 17, a 16, a 16, and a 15. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The party looks high and low, throws over some blankets, and moves around some pillows and jostles some lockers and things of that nature. But does not seem to be any sign of Forsaken individuals in the space. Similarly, Zorvarax, you look for... Oh, you got a 15 Zorvarax?
Yeah.
Zorvarax, however... Alright, so no signs of people. But Zorvarax, as you are keeping your eye out for things, you notice that one of the stones, which is pressed against the wall towards the back of the chamber, looks kind of suspiciously loose. Doesn't look to be nestled as tightly as some of the other stones in this area.
This stone. There's something off about this stone. I've been in dark places like this before. This stone,
Bad vibes.
bad. There's something off. I can't place it, but this is weird.
I'll be thinking secret door, secret passageway.
I don't know. Either secret passage or certain death.
I dare
There's
you.
no way to know.
The two are not necessarily mutually exclusive. Says-
Percy, you'd be surprised.
I dare someone to push it.
I don't
Great-
dare you to push it.
I'm right
Gray
there,
throws a
right?
rock at it.
Gray, you throw a rock?
Yeah.
All right. Gray twists her hand to some of the stones, the loose rubble on the ground, levitate to her palm, and glow with some druidic energy as she swings it into the air. It sails across the room towards the one larger stone, which is impacted into the wall. The rocks collide, and as Gray's stone clatters to the ground, still glowing, the larger rock tumbles out of place on the floor, revealing a darkened alcove, a little space inside the rock.
Was that loud?
Not like massively loud. Not like
Okay.
it wasn't like a boulder-sized rock. Probably like a head-sized rock, like a big brick-sized rock.
Well, color me impressed. But I'm actually blue, so don't.
Knew that was coming.
Impressive.
I don't think I can fit in there. Can I?
No, this is definitely not a squeeze. Not like a squeezed hole. This is like you could put your arm in, or you know,
Or a mage hand.
or a mage.
Schwom.
Once again, in a burst of eerie light, a clawed hand float/creeps its way over.
Whatever, I'll never get it right.
What? That doesn't look like. Oh, okay.
Creeps its way over to the hole in the wall. It sinks its fingers into the darkness, and Yoan, you can sort of feel through the transitive properties of magic. You almost like feel as though you are the hand, right? And against like the phantom limb that is your own palm, you press it up against something in there. Feels kind of metallic. Feels kind of cold. Feels like there's something nestled in the back of this little carve here.
Unnestle that shit. but back up slowly as he does so, in case it is
If I had
an
done.
animated
Yes.
silver piece. I don't know.
The hand, you can almost heal. I was gonna say nails on a chalkboard, but it's actually nails on the stone. As the claws just like clasp on top of what's ever in there and just drags it back out of the dark.
I'm sorry.
Tung, tung, tung. And falling out of the hole, there appears to be a small sort of like like a black iron padlocked case, which on either side does have a little arcane scribbling.
Arcana. 19.
19? Oh, this ish booby trapped. You can definitely get inside. It's warded so that someone can't get inside. But also if you don't successfully either manage to bypass the rune or open it just carefully enough, there is going to be some sort of evocation-based blowback.
This thing will explode if we try and do it wrong. Should I just put it in the bag and we sort it out later?
Just put it in the bag of holding and we'll figure it out.
I will have you know it is a Heward's handy haversack.
Oh, pardon me.
I'm for that. Yeah, I say we don't even mess with it right now.
Yeah, it's probably a bad idea. I just
Well-
it. Oh,
Don't we need this to go forward?
we might have something useful.
Do
right?
we?
How can we get through this door without
solving this puzzle.
Yeah,
What?
at the suggestion of us putting it in the bag of holding, Gray starts to like gently whimper.
Like a puppy dog whimper?
New plan. We give it to Creep as like a sick prank, bro.
Oh my
Yowen
god!
does not actually suggest that. That's just I had to bring it up.
You can't blame
Creep
me for
might
saying
know.
it.
Creep might know how to fix this thing.
Knowingly handing someone a bomb.
Just take it out of here.
If Musa D were here,
Oh yeah.
Musa D would be
Oh
eviscerating us right now.
yeah.
I'm trying to pick the lock if we want to open it.
If you want to risk the of it all, I mean, you're welcome to. But we have Jack and Lynn to deal with.
Yeah. I'll be up to the whims of the party. Whatever we vote, I'll do.
I have experienced plenty of, let's say, negative experiences with trying to pick locks that we cannot pick.
Mm.
I vote with Eowyn on this one.
2 for the bag. Anyone else?
I know.
I think.
Gray could whimper. I don't think Gray likes the bag.
One
I'm
again.
not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna be sad about it.
Is there any way that we could? I mean, I don't have great arcana. I don't know much about like magic, but is there any way that we could maybe do an arcana check on the door to see if there's some kind of spell on the door as well? To see if maybe like.
Well, just to be clear, in case I did not narrate this well enough, you entered from the main hall led to the library. The library led to the barracks. As far as you can see, barracks is a dead end.
Oh, there's no door.
Yeah. The only thing that you found in the barracks is a little alcove which hides a little magically locked box, but there's no door from there.
I wonder if we just put that in the bag of holding, and then we need to go the other way in the fork where it forked. Like we need to go see those dudes like that are chanting, because I feel like if we've exhausted this direction.
That is 3 for the haversack, and he just picks it up and plops it in.
Fantastic.
Does that cause any problems?
No. Do you do it with your hand or your mage hand?
The mage hand.
The mage hand. The mage hand dips down, and of course, because it has to just creepily sort of like, just run its clawed fingers over the box like once or twice. Click, click, clack, click.
Why is it so weird?
But then eventually,
what's with your hand, man? I say that to Yowen.
I don't know, Zorvarax. If you can figure it out, you let me know. In the meantime,
It's just so
Just
unsettling. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
it finally lifts up the box gingerly by its little metal handle, and then plops it into the bag of holding. There's sort of a cosmic zoop as it is, is pocketed away into some portion of the multiverse, to no ill effect. That being said, there's a feeling kind of like the hairs on the back of your neck all standing up. As you all sort of turn your head, there's a sudden whoosh in the nearby passageway as you see a lump of bedding, which was moved previously, suddenly gets up on its own, and as it peels away, right, nothing is underneath it. It
God.
The bedding peels away to the floor as you feel a rush of wind head down towards the passageway, and a sudden pop, 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 of footsteps getting further and further away from you.
The bedding?
someone was invisible under the bedding.
Magic carpet? Oh.
I'm sprinting after.
Same.
You were just laying there?
Well, that's, yeah. Yeah, if someone broke into your barracks, what would you do? And I think that is where we will end our session, with the party finding some new puzzle piece, but with the Forsaken aware and quickly on their way out. So yeah, how do we feel about that, gang?
We should holler after him for our next session. Holler after him, wait, we'll give you your treasure back, and see if maybe he runs back. Or she. I'm being
Or
rude.
she.
They can get their
Or
treasure
they.
back.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that so? All good for now, party? Is that a good place?
Yep. I think so.
Absolutely.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us here at Level 1 Adventuring. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Wolf Scott. For those of you, we had a couple new chatters and new people, new followers, new subscribers. We got some bits. Y'all have been great. Y'all have been so generous. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again if you joined us for your first session here. If you want to catch up on the storyline, all of the other sessions are currently on YouTube, so this is the plug where I say follow us on all the other platforms. You can catch up on the adventures on this series as well, the other series that we have going on, and also follow us on the Discord. All of that lore that I read through is pretty much on there, so you can learn about that for yourself. And we're also going to be playing some D&D together as a community very, very shortly. Big thanks to Tabletop Audio for giving us all the cool effects and sounds you got. Thank you for StreamLabs and StreamSpell for the visual elements of the stream, which you can download for yourself if you want, using our affiliate link down below to give us a little kickback, because we love you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my friends to outro themselves. So we'll start with Garrett.
I have been Garrett. I have nothing to plug, but have a happy Pride Month, y'all.
Happy Pride. Thank you. As I choke on my water. Happy Pride, choke on my water. Amber.
Hey y'all, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amber. You can follow me here on Twitch at The Girl with Caramel Skin, which should be linked in our bio here. I need to get back to streaming, and I stream a bunch of RPG and JRPG games, so it's fun. Join us over there. And yeah, that's it. And like Garrett said, happy Pride.
Excellent. Lauren.
Hey everyone, I've been Lauren playing as Gray. Nothing to plug, but thanks so much for tuning in, and I won't be here next week, but the week after. Can't wait to play with y'all.
Our newly gifted, our newly anointed Dragoon Jumper, Zorvarax Zach.
Hi y'all, I'm Zach. Zach Muller, your Dragonborn fighter Zorvarax.
I heard farter, just so you know.
Just farter. I mean, that's actually much more accurate, quite frankly. But I'm beyond thankful for my newly acquired powers, and I'm also just thankful for you all being here. And I don't have anything to plug because I don't really do anything else other than this. So thank you all for being here. I hope to see you next week.
Nice, thank you, Zach. And then Sydney.
Hey y'all, I'm Sydney. I play Viola. Thank y'all for tuning in. I have nothing to plug currently, but love you, bye.
Currently. Keyword. And I think I've said everything that I could say. Once again, happy Pride. Thank you all for being here. Please follow us along for the next journey, next time this ride. I'll get back to everyone on next week's schedule. I don't know if we'll be on for a D&D next week. I'll have to double check, but we'll definitely be around for something. I usually am solo streaming something, so if you're looking for RPG content, we will have you covered in some capacity. And until that time, I'm gonna say be well, be easy, and we'll see you in the next one. So goodbye, y'all.
Love you.
I'm gonna run that beautiful outro. Be good.